Good morning, everybody. So I'm trying to do a first video after my COVID. Sometime I'm stopping to cough, but I hope we can finish this one. So, DXY and Euro USD, you know that's my main focus is USD and Euro USD. So that's what we will speak about this morning. So if we look at DXY, I know as everybody that we have some geopolitical problems or issues in Europe with Russia and Ukraine, like we can have sometimes in any place of the world. So when that happens, or you trade with headlines and news, or you stick to what you know to do, which is my case. I mean, I cannot trade news. I cannot change my view each time there is a headline, if they move or not. The army, if Putin is woke up in a good mood or in a bad mood this morning, if he's going to attack Ukraine or less than yesterday or more than tomorrow. So I stick to technical whatever happens because that's the only thing that is not moving. Concerning this problem, my view, my humble view is just that even if there is something, it will be for a short term, a short period of time. It will be very short, and then everything will come back to technical. So one more time, that's why I stay to technical. Okay, so technically speaking, I'm short USD. You know that since a long time. Well, since we started to go in this area. On DXY, we have this kind of charting. We have two trend lines, the blue one here, the pink one there. The pink one is the one we have been using when we broke through it and came back to retest it twice. The blue one is the one that we could see still if we would have a push there on any bad thing that would happen there, whatever. So, and we have that ABC. So this is an ABC looking down, looking at 87 and 1272 extension at 83. And we have this red fib retracement, which is measuring this move here. So if we go inside it and we look on a shorter term, what we have here is very simple. We are in between the two trend line I just spoke about. We have had this consolidation that was confirming we would go down, and that's what we started to do. Then market makers have decided in a certain way to go and take the stop on the upside. They took them on the downside. So we have been cleaning everything on this move up, on this move down, which is a very nice price action around the accumulation and consolidation. Then we started to go down. We stopped again on the broken trend line that we have there, the old trend line we have been retesting several times, as you remember. And now that's where we are. So we are in between potentially this blue trend line if we would have a spike up because of headline or geopolitical things, and then we would come back. Anyway, south we will go. When? Soon. That's what I think, and that's what I'm looking for. So you see we stop here right on that short-term volume block we have there. And on this inside fib, this 2140 inside fib, I have pointed all those levels on Twitter. So you have been following them. Whenever I trade any USD instrument, you use DXY and the instrument. So when you have a confluence with the DXY level and the instrument level, that's when I act. So here we are now back under this important 50% fib. This is the 50%. The red one is the 50% of what I just said, which is that retracement here of this swing here. So we are back under this 50%, which is good for a continuation on the downside. Now we need to go back to this trend line. First, we have this level here, of course, this big level here at 95.66 or something like this, around in that area, 95.60 to 95.70, let's say, more or less. So we need to break back under this one, and then we would retest again that trend line, and we will break through it, bounce on this 38.2 fib. This is the 38.2 of this series of retracement that I just mentioned. So this one is a 38.2. You see it here. Let me put it on the other side. That will be easier for the video. Sorry. Okay. So we have it here. We are now under the 50%. We came back to retest it. We are going down. Then we will break this trend line, the pink trend line, come back probably to retest it, and then retest again this 38.2, which will be a big time because this one has been holding, you see, very nicely in many occasions. So that will be a strong area of support. We will probably be consolidating here, and then we will start dropping to go to the 87 and 83 level, which is much, much, much lower, as I say. So to sum up, if we have some geopolitical headlines on news, blah, 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 we can go a little bit higher. We have all the level we need there. But my 2 cents is still on the downside, and I trade it on size only on the downside now. As I said, I'm not trading headlines at all. Now, if we go to the Euro USD, so we have it here, and we have here some charts that I have been posting yesterday. So this is the chart we have been I have been posting. I have been calling this area for a bounce. We have been bouncing very nicely here from this bottom, precisely that I was showing. So we went up about 90 pips there. Then we had a pullback. I said we could short scalp here. Well, so when I say scalp, it's because it's not my main bias. My bias is long on Euro USD, so short USD. So here I scalp it, and then I add on the side I prefer. So we scalped it here. We went back to the area that was mentioned. That was the area for a long add, which happened really to the pip here. Very, very nice one. And this one is so important because that one is the market maker's fingerprint. So here we have a very big area, which is not only this one, but it's sorry. It's a very big area where market makers are accumulating money, and that's what we call the point of control of that area. So that's where we are now. That's where we have been bouncing, yesterday very nicely. I think nobody was looking at this level because we were going down like a falling knife, and then boom, we bounced from it. We came back exactly to the level that I had mentioned. I was short here for in the middle of the late session yesterday, took this short, then banked it here on the last swing volume block. Then we have been struggling in the night. I'm sleeping, and I took a long in this area this morning, a long add. I am still long from here, from the bottom. And now we are back testing this trend line. So this trend line that we have here, I'm sorry. This trend line is the bottom trend line of this consolidation that you can see there. So this is the initial consolidation. We broke up, we broke down, and then we came back inside. We broke again a little bit under it, and my idea is that we will come back and close inside up above this trend line, and that's what I'm looking for this week since the beginning of the week. So now that's exactly where we are. We have been testing yesterday this trend line. Of course, everybody has been selling it, thinking that we are going down like a hell. It didn't happen. We have been, it's an important thing too, even if that's not my main tool for trading, but we have here the 20 EMAs, the 1 hour, the daily, and the 4 hour. When they are benching like that together, it's because we have an acceleration coming. So that's what we will have. Now we came back above. Let me go on the 1 hour. We came back above the 1 hour and the daily, which is important, and this volume block here, which is the last swing volume block. So that's interesting because now we will go to this level. which is not a very strong level, but it's an interesting one. And then we will have this 2360, 2140, and the last swing volume block top, which is the twin sister or the twin brother of that one. So that's what we will do. And then we will be inside those fib till we go back to the max volume block, sorry, at 114.84. When I speak, I cough much more. So that's why I was not doing any videos. So for now, I stay exactly on the same thing. As I said, if something happens in Russia and Ukraine that won't last long, that will be just a small thing, even if a newspaper and TV are speaking about like that. That's how they make money. But very honestly, I don't think something big will happen. It will be short term, and then we go back to normal, and normal is technical. Concerning euro, as I said, I think the ECB has need a higher euro. Why? It's very simple, because most of the inflation, half or I think two-thirds of the inflation volume, I would say, is coming from energy costs that are growing like hell. Electricity, gas, and oil. And all of them are priced in foreign money for Europe. In this case, most of the time in dollar. So when there is inflation, there is two solutions for any country. For Europe, there is two solutions. The first one is to is to hike rates, and Lagarde is not willing to do it now because of the pressure of the country in Europe that has big debts. And if they hike rates, then the cost of the debts will fly. And then the other solution they have is to make the money stronger, because when the money will be stronger against the dollar, then the cost of energy will mechanically become lower. Then inflation will start to be a little bit less strong, and that's what they are using now. So this is not technical analysis, that's just what I think. But anyway, from the technical analysis, and since a long time, you can look at the video of the beginning of this year, the big yearly update I did. I am long Euro USD, and Euro USD will go back to the 120, which is the 61.8 extension of the ABC up. And if we would break it, and when we would break the 120, then we would fly to the 128.50. So the target is several hundred pips on the upside, and that's why, even if there was a risk of downside of a few 100 or 150 pips, which happened, that's nothing compared to the 700 or 1,200 pips on the upside. So the risk reward is still 1 to 10 or 1 to 8. So there is nothing to discuss about this. The good risk reward for me is on the upside with Euro USD. So I will still go on sending, of course, chart like I always do on Twitter. You see, this is a lighter chart that I'm using. You see, I have a lot of Euro USD chart with several things inside, and that's what I'm using all the time. So this is the clear chart with the trend line. You see the bottom of that consolidation, which is the most important chart. And this one, we will come back inside, and then we will run for the 114.84 area and break it clearly. We had this kind of small top run on the top, then we went down, and now we will be able to run on the upside. You can see here too that we have been using this trend line. Trend line are not my favorite because you can draw them in a lot of different ways, and everybody thinks he has a right trend line, and we never know which is the right trend line. So this one is taking this high here, is taking the bottom of this retest there. Originally it was not there, by the way, it was like this. Okay, that's my original trend line. You have this bottom here, this spike there. So it's showing a kind of, this one is really in control of the price in a way, and that's where we bounce from, together with the level I just mentioned here, which is the 61.8 pip, right to the pip. Now we broke through the 50%. We are struggling on the 38.2 together with the D50 and the bottom of the black trend line we have there. So that's why I have all those image charts and use them to trade as well as possible the Euro USD. So I am trading it on both sides. Same thing, I repeat it when I say I'm scalping short, it's because the short side is not my main bias on Euro USD. And on the other side, on the long side, I'm taking much bigger size with being much more comfortable due to the overall bias I have.